In this episode, several unexpected and satisfying events unfolded, bringing about significant changes in the allegiances of key characters. The narrative took an intriguing turn as alliances shifted, adding a layer of complexity to the storyline. After Ji-Yuk was discharged from the hospital, Ji-won took on the responsibility of caring for him. During this time, Ji-won reflected on her past actions and felt regret for not believing Ji-Yuk's true intentions towards her. Despite the challenges they faced, Ji-won was determined not to let their fate begin and end just like what happened before. It was revealed that Yura had joined forces with Soo-min, Minhan, Ji-won's mother, and Soo-min's father. Their collective intention was to harm Ji-won, and it was implied that they were doing so in exchange for Ji-won's inheritance. In the meantime, Ju-ran is on a quest to uncover evidence regarding her husband's affair. Suspicious of his loyalty and fidelity, she is actively investigating to validate her concerns. On the other hand, Ji-Yuk realizes his mistake in doubting Suk-jun's loyalty and apologizes to him. Despite recovering from his injury, Ji-Yuk decides to feign ongoing incapacity, pretending that he is still unable to perform certain tasks on his own. This charade is a strategic move to keep Ji-won invested in taking care of him. Yuk-yoon successfully discovers the hiding place of Man-sik and Hee-suk. In the midst of this, Yura contacts them, making a promise to arrange for their escape to China, where they can find refuge. Ju-ran, dealing with the emotional turmoil of her husband's affair, decides to confide in her colleagues Hee-yoon and Ji-won at the office. She reveals that although her dashcam has captured incriminating audio evidence of the affair, the video footage has somehow been destroyed. Complicating matters, the police have informed her that audio recordings alone are not sufficient for filing a complaint. In response to this setback, Ju-ran devises a plan to catch her husband and his partner in the act. Understanding the limitations of the audio evidence, she strategizes a scenario that would provide undeniable proof. Ji-won, supportive of her colleague and friend, decides to accompany Ju-ran along with the police to execute this plan. Ju-ran, accompanied by Ji-won and the police, barges into her own house after her husband and his mistress have entered. The atmosphere is tense as emotions run high. However, upon their entry, Ju-ran's husband and his mistress quickly make excuses, attempting to deflect blame and defuse the situation. Despite their anger and frustration, Ju-ran and Ji-won find themselves in a situation eerily reminiscent of Ji-won's past experiences. After the police and Ju-ran's husband's mistress leave the house, Ji-won is hesitant to leave, sensing the anger of Ju-ran's husband. Concerned for Ju-ran's safety, Ji-won takes a drastic step to prevent any potential harm. In a shocking moment, she slams a golf club onto a glass table, creating a commotion that startles both Ju-ran and her husband. With the broken glass table as a symbolic gesture, Ji-won issues a stern threat to Ju-ran's husband, warning him not to lay a finger on Ju-ran. Amidst the chaos, the police return due to the commotion caused by Ji-won's actions. Ju-ran, having reached her breaking point, decides to reveal a shocking truth she discovered from the audio recordings. She discloses that her husband and his mistress were waiting for her to die to collect money from her insurance. Enraged by this revelation, Ju-ran slaps her husband. In response, he pushes her, but fortunately, the broken glass table prevents her from hitting her head, potentially saving her from a more severe injury. After the intense confrontation at Ju-ran's house, they decide to go to the police station to press charges against Ju-ran's husband. Ji-won, expressing her concern and desire to accompany Ju-ran in future face-offs with her husband, offers her support. However, Ju-ran, in a moment of personal determination, rejects Ji-won's assistance, insisting that she should face the challenges on her own. Suk-jun, recognizing Ju-ran's need for legal support in the upcoming divorce proceedings, steps forward and offers to help her. At home, Ji-won and Ji-yuk engage in a conversation about the unexpected transfer of Ji-won's fate to Ju-ran instead of Soo-min, as they initially intended. Puzzled by this turn of events, Ji-won begins to contemplate possible reasons for the shift. As they discuss, Ji-won starts to formulate a potential scenario, a cheating husband driven by a willingness to harm his wife for financial gain. Ji-won devises a plan. She concludes that she needs to seduce Minhan, to give her fate to Soo-min. The next day at the office, Ji-won decides to wear the red stiletto, possibly as part of her plan. Ji-yuk initiates their strategy by assigning the meal kit project to another employee. Ji-won privately discusses this move with Ji-yuk, pretending to quarrel over the decision, with Ji-won seemingly favoring the money provided by the chairman over Ji-yuk. Minhan overhears this staged quarrel, possibly becoming an unwitting observer to their strategic conversation. At the pantry, Ji-won seizes the opportunity to confide in Minhan. She approaches him and, maintaining the appearance of a conflict with Ji-yuk, she asks Minhan to have dinner with her. During their dinner, Ji-won takes a bold step and confesses to Minhan about the substantial 80 billion won assets she now possesses. She opens up about the accident, explicitly pointing the finger at Soo-min as the person behind it. Minhan, perceiving an opportunity to be with Ji-won again and to gain access to her newfound wealth, begins to see this revelation as a potential pathway to achieving his own desires. On his way home, Minhan receives a call from Yura. During the conversation, Minhan reveals his plans to Yura regarding his intention to rekindle a relationship with Ji-won. In a calculated move, he suggests that Yura can use this situation to her advantage in pursuing Ji-yuk. Simultaneously, Yura, driven by a desire to eliminate any potential threats and erase evidence linked to Ji-won's accident, decides that Hee-suk and Man-sik must be silenced permanently. To achieve this, she instructs a hesitant Yuk-yoon to carry out the act. At home, Minhan has a conversation with Soo-min and informs her of his decision to get a divorce. Simultaneously, Yura takes action in a different part of the narrative. She purchases the restaurant where Yoon-ho works. Seeking to regain control of the establishment, Yura attempts to bribe Yoon-ho to secure his cooperation in relinquishing the restaurant. However, Yoon-ho refuses her offer. Yoon-ho, facing the uncertainty of his employment due to the closure of the restaurant, decides to confide in Hee-yoon. She comes up with an idea and proposes that Yoon-ho become a part of the meal kit project within the company. At the company, Yoon-ho shares with Ji-won the information about Yura's involvement in the closure of the restaurant. Concerned by this revelation, Ji-won takes immediate action and calls Ji-yuk to inform him about Yura's offer to Yoon-ho. However, Ji-yuk is already aware of the situation. He is presently in a meeting with Yuk-yoon. Ji-yuk reveals to Yuk-yoon what he knows about Yura's actions and asks for Yuk-yoon's cooperation in bringing down Yura. Meanwhile, Minhan calls Ji-won and asks her for a date whenever she is available, expressing his interest in spending time together. Subsequently, Ji-yuk calls Ji-won to reveal that Minhan already has a mistress and informs her that he has taken care of the red stiletto and a tin of candy. Armed with this information, Ji-won responds to Minhan, refusing his offer for a date. During their conversation, she belittles him, expressing her disdain and highlighting the perceived inadequacies in his character. Yura accompanies Yuk-yoon as they plan to ensure that Man-sik and Hee-suk will no longer be a part of the picture. They stage the scene to make it appear as if Man-sik and Hee-suk have planned to take their own lives. At the office, Ji-won is left alone, waiting for Ji-yuk when a call comes through the office phone with no one answering. Chills run down Ji-won's spine as she searches to see if anyone else is still in the office. Suddenly, the lights go out. In the darkness, someone calls her name, revealing themselves to be Minhan. Driven by anger due to Ji-won and Ji-yuk's manipulation, Minhan confronts Ji-won. Ji-won tries to hide, but Minhan eventually finds her. A tense confrontation ensues, with Ji-won fighting back and revealing that she knows everything, including Minhan's involvement in the plot to harm her. As the confrontation reaches its peak, Ji-won challenges Minhan, urging him to go ahead and kill her now. She asserts that if he doesn't, she will take matters into her own hands and retaliate. In the intense confrontation, Minhan becomes increasingly enraged and puts his hand on Ji-won's neck. The situation escalates further when Ji-won, despite the danger, laughs at Minhan, triggering even more anger in him. As Ji-won starts losing consciousness due to Minhan's aggression, Ji-yuk suddenly appears on the scene. Ji-yuk intervenes, pushing Minhan away from Ji-won.